Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com, and this is your mega photo news fix. This fix is brought to you by the fine people at Hellofresh. If you're like me and you enjoy cooking but hate going to the supermarket multiple times a week, you're going to love Hellofresh. Hellofresh does all the planning, shopping, and prepping for you, and they ship everything directly to your door so you can spend more time focusing on you and less time fussing over what's for dinner. All meals come with easy-to-follow picture recipe cards and can be made in 30 minutes or less. Steven and his girlfriend have been using Hellofresh for their dinners for close to 2 years now. There are 3 different plans to choose from: the classic, the veggie, and family, which means you will never run out of options to try. Better yet, Hellofresh is now from $6.99 per serving. To find out more and get a total of $80 off with 8 free meals in your first month, head on over to hellofresh.com and be sure to use the code FRO80 at checkout. First up, Adobe has released a new update that they're dubbing the February 2019 update. Very original, Adobe, very original. This update brings us a new feature called Enhance Details, which, get this, it enhances details. It's true, Dan, it enhances details.
Enhance.
Here's how it works. Adobe utilizes the power of AI and Sensei to produce more detail from your RAW files with less issues. Hey, Ken Rockwell, did you hear that? You can't use this new feature since you don't shoot RAW and only shoot JPEG. Oh yeah, it also doesn't work on DNG files that were saved with 1.1 compatibility, which is a good thing I didn't convert my original RAW files in the early 2000s to DNGs like so many others did to save space. I tested this out on a few files, and unless you're zooming in 8:1, you really won't notice a difference. And honestly, even at 8:1, it's still hard to see a difference. But I will tell you where I saw a difference though: the size of the DNG file. A 210 megabyte file is what it creates from a D850 RAW image. You may be thinking, where will this make a difference? Big ass prints. Really big ass prints, like billboards. You may see a difference. Hey Dan, we may need to reprint that big print over there because we need to enhance the nipples. At the end of the day, you probably won't be using this feature too often, but it's nice knowing that Adobe is still creating new ways of unlocking the power of RAW files, which is more affirmation that you should be shooting RAW, except if your name is Ken Rockwell. What will you enhance? Hey, guess what? We passed 6,000 likes last week, which means I'm giving away FroPack 1 to this lucky person. Can we do it again? Oh yeah, by the way, the winner of the Tamron lens was Kurt Francis. Next up, we have a story about Nikon, but it comes with a warning from Nikon PR. And I quote, "If you bash one more Nikon product announcement, that will be the end of you." Well, I actually made that up. They didn't warn me this time, or did they? Nikon has finally decided to bless this world with their first real deal professional lens for their Z systems. And no, it's not the Noct, which I don't consider to be professional anyway, because it's a manual focus lens. Maybe back in 1972, but not in 2019.
So what's the lens, Jared?
I'm glad you asked, Dan. It's the should have been released at the launch of the Z camera's Nikon 24-70 2.8S. Now this is a professional lens. This is a staple of every professional's bag and a major part of the Hebrew Trinity. This lens is designed to take advantage of the wider, brighter, and faster Z-mount system that delivers edge-to-edge sharpness even when shot wide open. Yes, Dan, I took most of that from the press release. It does have some new features, including 2 actuators to move 2 focusing groups at the same time, which will help with faster focusing. It's the first Nikon lens to get a new coating dubbed Arneo. It's kind of like Emilio, which in conjunction with nanocrystal coating minimizes ghosting and flare from bright-ass lights. That was not in the press release. This 24-70 is approximately 24.7% lighter, even though that sounds more like an exact number and not an approximation, but hey, what do I know? I just read the photo news. On top of that, it's 18.4% shorter than the current 24-70 2.8 VR. But you know what this lens doesn't have? VR! Before I get to the price, I need to point out something weird that they added to the top of this lens. An organic EL lens information panel that allows you to quickly confirm your aperture, focal length, focus distance, and depth of field without having to do what? Look through the viewfinder. Wow. I think for approximately 99% of the world, nobody is ever going to need that feature. It's basically a waste of space. This lens will be released in the spring at a price of $2,300, which is $100 more than the VR version is currently. Will you be buying this lens? Because I will, when they give me a pro body, you know, like a D5 but mirrorless. Oh, by the way, I'm doing a mega camera giveaway. Head on over to bit.ly/megafro to get entered. And finally, we have two, count it, two massive announcements from Canon. I'm going to start with the camera and finish with the new lens. I mean, the 6 new lenses. Yeah, Canon just flexed super duper hard.
I'm no different than I was before, man.
So back when the EOS R came out, I thought that was going to be their entry-level full-frame mirrorless camera, but I was wrong. Introducing the Canon EOS RP. The P stands for...
P is for people scratch a temple.
Dan? Yeah, he doesn't know either, because it definitely doesn't stand for professional. This is a full-frame mirrorless body that weighs in at only 485 grams with the battery installed and is priced at $1,299. At that price, it's geared towards people who want to graduate from crop sensor cameras or for people looking for their first affordable family camera. Now, I say affordable, but affordable is relative. It could be your brother. One of the problems I see in the first year of this camera being out is the fact that there isn't affordable, crappier glass for this system. All the RF lenses have been amazing up to this point, and expensive. What this means is you'll have to adapt older EF lenses, which is fine, or spend a lot more money on RF glass. Some of the other top-level specs include a 26.2 megapixel sensor, ISO range from 100 to 40,000, 5 frames a second in one shot, 3 to 4 frames in servo, which is actually pretty slow, 143 selectable autofocusing points covering 88% of the frame, a 2.36 million dot EVF, and a 3-inch vari-angle touchscreen. Being that this camera is so small, they also made an extension grip that doesn't really do much other than extend your grip for $80, which is nice because it makes it fit in my hands much better. As we're all well aware of, Canon tends to cripple their lower-end cameras, and the EOS RP definitely has more than a few features that are crippled. Here's one: you can only shoot 1080 video at 30 and 60p, and even though it shoots 4K at 24p, it crops it in at 1.74 times, and you lose dual pixel AF, making 4K video pretty much a waste. And on top of that, look at this jelloing effect. And if you're somebody who wants to shoot silent in manual mode, well, you can't. You have to go to a scene mode and shoot in full auto. But there is one thing that we all need to remember, is that this is a $1,300 camera geared towards beginners and amateurs. Though it would be nice if they didn't cripple so many of the video features. With that said, I got my hands on this camera last week in New Orleans, and I kind of liked it. It felt great in the hands with the grip. The autofocus is fantastic paired with all RF lenses, as well as adapted EF lenses, and I ended up capturing some pretty good photos. To check out our full hands-on preview, look for the link below in the description. And for the final announcement from Canon, we have 6, count them, 6 new lenses coming by the end of 2019. There's the 24 to 240 f4 to 6.3 IS, which is a 10-time optical zoom that's probably going to be a great kit lens on the RP or EOS R. Next up, we have not one, but 2 85mm f1.2Ls. There's the regular RF 85 1.2L, and now an 85 1.2L DS, which stands for defocus smoothing. Personally, I'm gonna have to see that DS in action to see if I like the bokeh that it creates. The next 3 lenses are what professional Canon shooters really have been waiting for, though I thought they were actually waiting for a professional body. Well, there's a 15 to 35 2.8L IS, 24 to 70 2.8L IS, and the 70 to 200 2.8L IS. Yes, all 3 of these lenses have IS, and get this, Canon has officially announced that future cameras will be getting in-body stabilization. Now, they didn't have more information on that just yet, they just said that they will. Let's take a closer look at the 70 to 200. Just look at the size of it. It's basically the same size as the Canon 70-300. It's small, super compact, and not what I expected at all.
That's what she said.
Everybody else has built big-ass 70-200s, and this Canon one, it's short and stout and kind of chody.
That's what she said.
And it's kind of cute.
That's what she said.
Now, there's no word on pricing on any of these lenses just yet, and if the past is any indication of the future, the RF lenses will come in at a few $100 more than their EF counterparts. Hey, guess what, everybody? The sleeping giant has thrown down the gauntlet and put Nikon, Sony, and the
L-Mount Alliance
on notice. Canon's got glass.
Domino.
Now all they need are some pro bodies. And there you have it. That's your photo news fix this time around. To check out the last fix, go ahead and click on the screen right here. And don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and go enter that contest to get your chance to win some free stuff. Thank you very much for watching. Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com. See ya.